Airplanes are the majestic metal birds that have been gracing our skies for a while now, but amidst the roar of jet engines, these flying machines have also witnessed some pretty bizarre moments. From the woman who thought she could get some fresh air to animal surprises. In today's video, we'll tell you all about the strangest things that happened on an airplane. So make sure to watch till the end, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Lady unlocks emergency exit. Buses and trains frequently provide the convenience of opening windows for a breath of fresh air. However, opening windows on commercial aircraft is uncommon. On a flight, a woman found the cabin to be a little suffocating. After failing to open the window, she opened the emergency exit door. The jet was still on the runway and there was no true emergency, but this act was captured on a video that went viral. Airport police arrived to take the woman into custody, so she was able to get some fresh air, but in a different way. As for the flight, it was delayed by an hour. Mid-air wedding by Pope Francis. Pope Francis was approached by flight attendants to pose for pictures. When the attendants disclosed that they were a couple but were unable to have a religious ceremony owing to an earthquake in their homeland, their meeting took an unexpected turn. Pope Francis made a proposal to marry them there and then on the plane. The ceremony was conducted by the Pope himself, combining the two airline employees as husband and wife. The couple's witness was the CEO of LATAM Airlines. The newlyweds smiled for pictures and showed their happiness. A very extraordinary and spectacular wedding was sealed with a document penned by the Pope. Bird strike. A terrifying incident happened when a bird strike significantly damaged an airplane's cockpit window. 57 people were on the aircraft. The pilot informed air traffic authorities when the bird struck the plane. It was decided to make an emergency landing due to worries that the windscreen would come off. No one was hurt except that bird. Images taken after landing showed the plane being inspected. You might be curious about how birds can harm a plane. One time, a plane crashed with a group of Canadian geese in 2009, forcing them to land on the Hudson River. This incident demonstrated the danger that birds pose to airplanes. Couple booked an entire plane for wedding. A couple booked a whole jet for their relatives to travel to their wedding as a show of luxury that elevated wedding festivities. Indian weddings are known for their grandeur, so it's clear that the couple didn't spare any expenses. Shreya Shaw's family chartered the flight to ensure that loved ones could join them for a sister's wedding in Jaisalmer, India. Family members on board waved and cheered as the camera swept over the plane. This incident captured the interest of millions of people. When the video was published online, it got over 10 million views. Man walks on plane. In this scary video, a guy bravely walks on one of a Boeing airplane's wings while seeing the water near Bali's Nyang Nyang beach. The jet is parked next to a cliff in Bali. Bali draws visitors from all over the world because of its magnificent beaches, breathtaking scenery, and natural beauty. Divers, surfers, and thrill-seekers are lured to this idyllic Indonesian island, where some daredevils even walk on airplane wings. On a cliffside close to the ocean, the plane is intended to be converted into a hotel for vacationers. Bali's natural alluring charm is given an additional degree of wonder by this courageous trek on the wing. Woman and service turkey on flight. Jodie Smalley set off on an emotional journey from Seattle to San Francisco with her 25-pound pet turkey named Easter. They were traveling in order to disperse her late husband's ashes. The reason for bringing a turkey with a custom-made diaper and the necessary paperwork is that a turkey has been a buddy since it was a chick and has shown unshakable support after her husband passed away. The presence of the feathered passenger thrilled other passengers during the 2-hour journey, inspiring them to take pictures with their phones. Easter traveled in peace. Jodie said her final goodbyes by scattering her husband's ashes at San Francisco's Japanese tea garden. Honeybee attack. In an odd event at Kolkata International Airport, honeybees discovered themselves clinging to an airplane. Beehives generally grow on trees or in the corners of buildings, but this time bees settled on an airplane. The unexpected honeybee swarm caused severe delays for about an hour for 2 flights. Fortunately, both flights were empty when the bee attack occurred. The airport director in Kolkata disclosed that the bee encounters had an impact on many flights. The fire crew used water cannons to scatter the bees. The airport employees thoroughly searched the area after the events and sprayed pesticides as a precaution. Snake surprise. From bees to snakes, it appears to be a scenario from a Hollywood film. On an Air Asia aircraft, a passenger recorded a video of a snake slithering into an overhead bin. The pilots quickly opted to land the plane to deal with the unwanted reptile after the passenger alerted them without delay. The terrifying film captured the attention of thrill seekers and fans of horror all across the world, generating millions of views and comments. Although the snake's origin is still unknown, it is admirable that the pilot prioritized the safety of the passengers and crew by acting promptly and appropriately. An emotional support pig. A passenger named Megan Peabody made a choice to travel with Hamlet, a 70-pound pot-bellied pig, as her emotional support animal. Megan says she overcame anorexia with the help of Hamlet. When she submitted her documentation to the American Airlines ticket agents, they were taken aback by the pig's appearance. Megan carried Hamlet aboard the plane and up the steps. Hamlet had taken 6 other flights before this one, so this wasn't his first. Hamlet was calm the whole trip, even when Megan leaves him for a little period of time with a bowl of Cheerios while she went to the bathroom. Scorpion on the plane. On a flight from Indonesia to Jakarta, passengers were shocked when they discovered a live scorpion as a woman opened a bag pocket. A scary scorpion with its frightening pincers and stinging tail was seen crawling across a plastic container and then vanishing into the fittings of the aircraft. It was approximately 12 inches long and resembled the aggressive Asian forest scorpion that lives in Indonesia. The scorpion had already moved to the roof of the aircraft when flight attendants hurried to find the cause of the commotion. The creature was eventually found deep within the plane, where it had probably been for at least a week. Maggots on plane. On a US Airlines flight from Atlanta to Charlotte, maggots began to fall out of an overhead bin, raising the discomfort level of flying to a new level. It was found that a container of rotting meat had been stored in the trash can and had been infected with maggots. The captain made an emergency U-turn after passengers spotted flies and maggots. The staff became aware of the uncomfortable situation when a passenger yelled and resisted going back to her seat. A flight attendant quickly shut the bin again. Before passengers could reboard, the plane had to go through a comprehensive cleaning process after it had returned to the gate. All passengers made it to their destinations ultimately. Baby born on plane. On a Turkish Airlines aircraft flying to Istanbul, a newborn unexpectedly arrived aboard. The staff saw Nafi Debbie, who was 28 weeks pregnant, having contractions in the middle of the trip and acted quickly. They aided in the baby's safe birth with a little assistance from other travelers. Thankfully, the mother and her newborn baby, Khadiju, were in good health and were taken safely to a hospital right away for an assessment. Turkish Airlines celebrated the unique delivery by tweeting the happy news. Pregnant women should speak with their physicians or midwives before traveling, even though most airlines allow them to fly up to 36 weeks into their pregnancies. Lost kitty. During a flight from Dallas to San Francisco, an unexpected announcement went through the cabin. Anybody missing a cat? A cat had made its way to the first-class section of the plane, shocking both passengers and flight attendants. In order to recover the lost cat, one flight attendant even knelt on her hands and knees and reached below the seats. She proceeded down the aisle holding the cat in her arms, asking passers-by whether they recognized their missing pet. The owner eventually made his way out of the plane's tail to get his pet, but as swiftly as it was discovered, the cat escaped once more by wriggling out of the flight attendant's grip, so catching it again definitely took some smart thinking and combined effort, but it sure made everyone's flight quite memorable. Doctors save a woman's life. 3 physicians on board a flight from Florida to Los Angeles made extraordinary efforts to save the life of a woman. Super Bowl tickets were given to the physicians as a thank you for their commitment during the COVID outbreak. Doctors jumped into action when they saw a woman aboard the plane suddenly begin to feel significant chest discomfort. Her lung had collapsed, allowing air to flow into her chest. The pilot performed an emergency landing in Houston, where emergency services were waiting to take the woman to the hospital. The woman was able to get well because of the quick action of these exceptional doctors. It's no secret that without our dedicated healthcare professionals, we'd be lost in life. Gold bars in plane bathroom. Over $1.1 million worth of gold bars were discovered in a storage compartment of an airplane toilet in India. The unexpected find was uncovered in 2 pieces of luggage by cleaners on a Jet Airways trip. For the really sincere cleaners, this must have been a remarkable find. India is not only one of the biggest consumers of gold, but also a significant importer of the precious metal. These 2.2 pound gold bars were transported on an aircraft that departed from Bangkok and stopped in India. The gold that was taken was estimated to be worth up to $1,400,000. Fortunately, this smuggling stint got busted before the gold went into the wrong hands. Landing without part of a wing. An F-15 Eagle and an A-4 Skyhawk collided during a training exercise over Israel's Negev area in May 1983, causing the F-15 to lose around 2 feet of its right wing. The two-man F-15 crew surprisingly made a safe landing at a neighboring airbase despite the significant damage. Prior to his aircraft exploding, the Skyhawk pilot successfully ejected. The F-15's pilot Nadevi decided to make an emergency exit and used the afterburners to make a successful double normal speed landing that brought the aircraft to a stop 20 feet from the end of the runway. It was a fantastic escape for sure and showcased the pilot's expertise and ability to make a smart decision in an incredibly stressful situation. Emergency landing on a mountain. Pilot Silvio de Bond had an unexpected engine failure while flying over the Italian Dolomites, necessitating an emergency landing in the snowy Italian Alps. De Bond expertly controlled the aircraft to land at a height of 2,700 meters above sea level. De Bond temporarily passed out after landing, and her passengers were still awake and able to make an emergency call. They made it down the mountain safely with the aid of the rescuers. Thanks to the pilot's quick thinking, all the people aboard the plane walked out unharmed. If it hadn't been for her, this could have ended in disaster. Pilot fakes plane trouble, then proposes. Pilot Ryan Thompson from Chicago staged a false plane problem before proposing to his fiancée Carly Kennedy. Thompson prepared a complex prank while flying. Thompson alerted Kennedy to a serious problem and requested that she read the emergency instruction manual. Kennedy started giving phony instructions, which included how to engage. Kennedy truly thought they were in danger amid the mounting stress. Thompson exposed the joke and landed without incident. He uploaded the footage to YouTube. Unexpectedly, Kennedy agreed to the proposal and showed no resentment towards Thompson for the creative, practical joke. Before moving to number 1 on this list, on a flight from London to Chile, a British Airways plane had a unique event. A group of birds started to follow the jet as it soared above the dense canopy of the Amazon jungle. They were flying near the engines, which posed a serious threat. In an effort to scare the birds away, the pilot made the quick decision to land on the closest open runway. But the birds continued to stay with the plane even after landing. The reason behind this incident was that 10 exotic Amazonian birds had been hidden on board by a smuggler. When these birds saw their jailed buddies, they sought to rescue them. Share your thoughts on this rare occurrence by leaving a comment. Now, without further ado, let's proceed to our next interesting story. Plane door opens mid-flight. A terrifying incident occurred when the plane's rear door abruptly opened mid-flight, terrifying the passengers. The possessions of the travelers, including 25 hats, were sucked out into the chilly air as the cabin pressure decreased. Fortunately, no one got hurt and the crew was able to close the door eventually, saving the lives of everyone aboard the plane. A videographer on board caught the event with the door flapping in the wind. Despite the terrifying experience, all passengers and staff members were able to leave the scene unharmed. They lost their possessions though, and the episode undoubtedly left them disturbed and uneasy. Those were some of the strangest things that happened on an airplane. Tell us in the comments which one intrigued you the most, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. See you all next time.